Hello and welcome to the Section 5.3 lecture today for Algebra 1 Part 2. Today we're going to be looking at slope-intercept form, probably everybody's favorite. Hoping to keep this video a little shorter because I think it needs to be. The beauty of slope-intercept form is it tells us, and keeping in mind what we need to graph a line. So we need 2 points, at least 2 points. This one gives us 2 points relatively quickly, and it gives us some really nice points to graph in that the first point it's going to give us is the point that's right on the y-axis. It's called the y-intercept, or in slope-intercept form terms, it's the b. The b is the y-intercept, the number that's being added to the x term. Okay, so the other point that it gives us is going to be based on the slope. So we're going to have just the skill that we worked on yesterday, graphing a line, given a point and the slope, put a point out there, find another point using the slope, and then graph the line. Okay, so when we look at how to use this thing with y equals mx plus b, we want to plot the y-intercept. So say this is B right here. I'm going to put a point at B, plot another point using the slope, so let's say I go up M, say I go up M and over 1. Okay, that's my slope, so I get another point right there. Now that I have those 2 points, you can draw the line. So step 1 is plot the y-intercept. Step 2, plot another point using the slope. And step 3, draw the line. Now, same thing we talked about yesterday. If you would rather step out your slope a little bit to give yourself a better idea of what it looks like, that's totally okay. If you're using some kind of a straight line tool, then feel free just to do it whenever you feel comfortable. If you get 2 points on there, that's fine. Make sure that you're giving effort on drawing a straight line. So on this one, I have a b of 7 and a slope of 5, or 5 over 1. So I get to put a point at 7, which luckily isn't actually a point on my graph. It's just between 6 and 8 there. And to make matters worse, I can't go up 5 and over 1. But keep in mind what I do is I envision doing that, thinking that point's going to be somewhere up there. So now I know that I'm going to go down 5 and left 1. Even that's kind of a pain because it's going to put me somewhere in the middle of a square. Down 5 is going to take me to 2. Over 1 is going to put me halfway between 0 and negative 2. And I can probably do that again to get a better look at where my next point should be. Well, kind of. Even that one's going to be a little bit off. 2, 4, 5, and over 1. Yeah, there's really no good way to win on this one. The scale of the graph kind of ruins us. So it's going to be somehow between these 2 points. It's a pretty straight line on this scale of a graph. And so we just do our best to get a straight line. Would have loved for our first example to be a little bit nicer, but we get a general idea of what we're looking at. Let's see if we can get some better luck with some of these bigger graphs. I like bigger graphs. Okay. So this one has a slope. What's the number in front of x? That's the tricky one. And a y-intercept, I include the sign with that, so it's negative 3. So a y-intercept of negative 3 and a slope of 1 means go up 1 and over 1. And I better continue that a couple times, especially since it's pretty easy to count. I can even go the other way. Just give myself a little bit better idea of where this line goes. Gives me a good place to start with the line tool that I have. But if you just put that a couple times, I could see making a pretty good line out of that information. The next one, I have a slope of -1/2 and a y-intercept of 5. So I'll put my y-intercept, plot another point using my slope, go down 1, right 2, and that would be enough. Like I said, I like to step it out a little bit, give myself a little better idea of where we're living. And especially because that's the last problem today, that's not too bad. All right, so that being said, hopefully this kind of sparked your juices a little bit, trying to get you back into using slope-intercept form. One thing I want you to think about is what is the big difference between point-slope form that we talked about yesterday and slope-intercept form that we talked about today. There's just a key difference and only a couple steps to get one to the other. Okay, but I'm not going to make this take any longer. I'll probably talk about that once we get into class. Otherwise, make sure you get any questions over there on the left. Ask them when we see each other. And have a great day, and we'll see you in class.